Welcome to Sailing Avanti. We are Gerard and Jacqueline, sailing our 41-foot monohull Avanti around the world from Cape Town, South Africa. Last week's episode was filled with us enjoying our last few days in St. Lucia by hiking the pitons, visiting the Diamond Waterfall, and snorkeling off the mooring ball right underneath Avanti. In this episode, we leave St. Lucia and head further south to the sleepy island of Carriacou. It's approximately 90 nautical miles between the two islands, and we opt to sail at night so that we can arrive in the islands and the new anchorage during daylight hours. Carriacou forms part of Grenada and is situated just a few nautical miles north of the main island. A pod of dolphins joins us and plays around Avanti as the sun sets. This is normally a bad omen for us, as we sometimes hit bad weather when we see dolphins at night. So let's see how this one plays out. The sun is just about to rise after our overnight passage from St. Lucia to Carriacou. So we're almost there. We're about 15 or 12 nautical miles out, and we're doing about 7 knots. The wind has been quite good. Swell has been quite small. We had some stints where the wind was just over 20 knots true wind, but the rest was about 18 or 17, and we could basically sail on a close reach for the whole way. It's about 90 nautical miles between the two islands. So we'll reach Carriacou in the morning around about 8 o'clock, and then we can clear in. So it looks like our timing is good this time.
The island you see in front of us is actually Union Island, where our Caribbean adventure started just over 12 weeks ago. There are a few more islands we could have visited, but it's time to head south out of the hurricane belt. Some people do tend to leave a bit later, but both of us tend to be more on the cautious side, so we rather want to be safe than sorry. So for the last time in a while, Gerard puts up our quarantine yellow flag and the Grenada country flag as the courtesy flag. We drop anchor in Tyrell Bay, and I take a swim to see if the anchor has set properly. I do get hypnotized by this little guy scratching in the sand close to Avanti before we launch Blaasoppie and go ashore to clear in. This bay is very sheltered and almost no swell rolling in, thus very popular with cruisers, especially because of the 2 haul-out facilities and the full range of services at competitive prices.
As we step ashore, we meet our welcoming party at Carriacou Marine. Customs and Immigration is conveniently located in the small little blue building inside Carriacou Marine. The fees to clear in is 85 EC with a cruising fee of 75 EC included for a 30-day period. As South Africans, we are allowed to stay 90 days, but it's quite easy to extend this if you apply for an extension. There is a fee to be paid if you do extend your stay, and you have to renew your cruising permit every 30 days for the 75 EC. Quality control on the hard is of a high priority, and as you can see, there's quite a lot of inspectors roaming around to do visual inspections.
Following some of the goat trails, we make our way up a hill to get a better view of the bay.
We've hiked up a little hill just on the edge of the Carriacou Tyrell Bay Marina, or the anchorage, to just come and have a nice viewpoint. So very steep hike. It's still very dry. You can see it's been winter. But yeah, nice workout.
We count over 120 sailboats in the bay at the moment. You can clearly see the marina and the town's one street with the mangroves across the bay. The mangroves is where one can enter if there's a hurricane or tropical storm on the way, and when walking past you can see some haven't left since the last time they entered, or maybe they've broken down there. I don't know, and hopefully we'll never need to take a closer look.
We see a lot of these goats, or maybe they look like sheep, roaming freely around the island. We're not sure if they belong to farmers or if they have owners, and we only see beef, pork and chicken on the shop shelves, so not sure what they do with the goats around here. On our way down, we decide to take a detour and walk through Tyrell Bay town. The entire island only has one gas station where you can buy petrol and diesel, but there's over 100 rum shops, from the smallest one to bigger ones, where you can buy rum and maybe some food. It's very hard to figure out the opening hours of some of these rum shops. As you can see, they call it Caribbean Flex Time. This morning, for the first time in almost 5 months, I'll be making the first smoothie. Yogurt is extremely expensive on these islands, so I used to eat this smoothie every day back home, and for the first time today we found a vanilla yogurt that's made in Carriacou, so we thought it would be cheap, but it ended up, when it went through the cashier, it ended up extremely expensive. But we just thought, let's just do it. So what goes into this smoothie is, oh wow, quite weird, very weird consistency.
Is it all?
It's supposed to last until the end of May. It tastes fine. So vanilla yogurt. This looks quite weird. It is a local yogurt. We've bought some small containers of yogurt that's flavored, that was quite good, but they're all imported. So we're gonna try this. 2 bananas, and then normally I would put in like a chocolate like porridge powder, but we haven't seen that over
like
here.
Future Life or something like that. But yeah, we haven't seen anything like that on the island.
So we're putting in some hot chocolate instead. Chocolate, we haven't done it before with hot chocolate, so this will be a first. And then last but not least is peanut butter. So this is the final product. It's hopefully it tastes good. No, not bad. Close to my home ones.
In Carriacou, I'm able to put on my running shoes again. This large bay gives me plenty of space to run, and I slowly get more comfortable and go further and further on the road, with many goats cheering me on daily. The highest number I've counted on my 5-kilometer run was 83. I have to finish my run in the mornings before 8 o'clock, when the heat really starts to set in. An interesting tree that we see on our way to the larger town of Hillsborough is marked with a red paint around their trunk. The manchineel trees grow all over this island and have poisonous apples that line the beaches. One is not supposed to handle them or even stand under the tree when it's raining, as the water dropping off can cause blisters. Arriving in Hillsborough, we see that it might be a bigger but still sleepy town on the lee side of the island. It does have a museum, but unfortunately this was closed. The streets are lined with beautifully painted colourful buildings, with a white and black beach and plenty of places to find a cold beer. You can anchor here, but the yachts that we did see in the bay were bobbing around quite a bit. We take a local bus further north to the town of Windward, found on the windward side of the island, of course. Windward side of the islands in the Caribbean always look a little different than the lee because of the sargassum, the yellow seaweed that washes out on the beaches. In previous videos we've called this Gandalf killer. But this sargassum is actually edible, and we've seen locals dry it, and it can be boiled and steamed, and then eaten or fed to the local livestock. This is the famous Hope's House from the movie Vanishing Sail, where many of the boat builders and their families played in. This ghost town is home to only 1,000 kayaks, the name of the local people. This town is therefore also well known for its boat building history, under the palms and on the beaches. This tradition was started by the Scottish mariners generations ago that made their way to the island and taught the locals how to build boats. You can still see their surnames on the gravestones, and sloops like these are actually still built today from the woods of this island as well as Grenada. And this friendly little local guide made sure we saw all that Windward had to offer before we made our way back with the local bus to Tyrell Bay.
Today I'm tasting a stag lager. We bought it here in Carriacou, Grenada. It is brewed by Grenada Breweries in St. George, so just the island just south of us, about 20 nautical miles south. It's a lager and it's got 5.5% alcohol content, so a little bit stronger than the other lagers we've had here. The bottle's also 275 milliliter. These are the only sizes we've seen thus far. So yeah, let's taste and see how it goes. It's this one is very nicely chilled, so very good crispy lager refreshing taste, especially in this heat. So yeah, it's a very good lager actually. Not that bland compared to the others that we've had. So I would score this one in terms of the taste and the cost at about 8 out of 10. The cost here in Carriacou is about 5 Eastern Caribbean dollars. So not too expensive, but yeah, it's pretty much the same price in the supermarket as in a restaurant.
If you like this video, please give it a like and tell us your favorite part in the comments. Sharing and subscribing is a free way of helping us a lot. Thank you to our patrons, and if you'd like to join them in supporting these videos, there's a link in the description below. If you can't find us, let it know and we'll forward it to you directly. Next week's episode is going to be a real goodie. We're going to get into some details on how we plan where we go to next and how we made decisions on when to be where on our route around the world.